welcome you with us here on Leaders of Tomorrow, ET Now's special initiative that celebrates the undying entrepreneurial spirit of the micro, small and medium enterprise. On the show today, we have a special conversation lined up with SAP on how to view the MSME growth story here in India. And on Bright Sparks tonight, we feature two companies, Growers, which is bucking the present trend in the online retail space, and Cranberry Foods, a special innovative breakout in its space. So that's what we have in store for you tonight. Let's start off right away with our Inside conversation. Now, even as MSME companies embrace technology more now than ever before, one global giant that is bullish on the opportunity that the MSME growth story presents is none other than SAP. It has previously said that nearly 70% of all its business would come from the SME space going forward. I caught up with Adair Fox-Martin, the president of SAP APAC as well as Japan. She says she's very excited by unique products as well as offerings that the MSME space has here for SAP. Take a look. Now, I want to understand from you how you really see companies in India changing and adapting more as far as the use of technology is concerned.
The changing technological landscape is actually creating quite a lot of opportunity for companies in India. We see that Indian companies are really embracing how they're reaching to their consumers and the digitization of their business to enable them to do that much more effectively. We also see that Indian companies are taking the opportunity to really embrace cloud-like solutions, because for many areas of business functionality, the opportunity to have a cloud offering means that you can lower the cost of entry, don't have to have all of the infrastructure yourself in order to have the opportunity to deliver that service to your customer, and enables you to be an extremely efficient and effective organization. So I think many of the technological changes that we're seeing today are absolutely being embraced by our customers here in India.
Let's talk about how large you really foresee India becoming, either in terms of a revenue percentage or a head count point of view, and where is it right now?
SAP India is a very significant part of SAP's business in Asia Pacific, Japan, and also for SAP globally. And it's an amazing journey of growth to see something that started as a very small group of individuals here in SAP India, but today has grown to being the second largest subsidiary for SAP globally. And, today in India's landscape, SAP has over 9,000 employees, over 6,500 customers and 600 partners in our ecosystem.
How does this really compare with how the rest of Asia is spanning out for SAP? I'm trying to get a picture of whether India is really mirroring the kind of growth you're seeing in the rest of Asia.
From the perspective of how India compares to the rest of Asia Pacific, Japan, we can absolutely see that there are elements of India that are vibrant, lively, growing extremely fast, elements of India's business for SAP that actually represent some very significant best practice in terms of process. And that's particularly true for us in the SME space, where, compared to the rest of Asia Pacific, Japan, SAP India has taken a leading position. Over 83% of our customers in India are SMEs.
I noticed an earlier report which said that 70% of your business, you said, would come from SME in the future. That is, where are you right now?
For us, this is an extremely important sector. I truly believe that in the India SME sector today, we probably have the multinationals of tomorrow, and that there's a significant proportion of innovation in that section, or in that sector, that I think helps the broader Indian economy in particular.
I would like to get a sense of, where in the life cycle or the life stage really of SMEs are they when it comes to the use of technology? How much of the budgets do you think, for example, you're seeing companies putting out for the use of technology? And how do Indian SMEs compare with their Asian peers?
The decision is predicated not necessarily on how much of my budget I want to spend, but what return on investment is there going to be? What is the value-based outcome that we expect our business to have as a result of this investment in technology? And we're very focused on helping our customers understand what that value will be, what that outcome will be, no matter how they choose to consume, choose to consume the software. And I would say that due diligence effort in terms of understanding the return on investment, in terms of understanding the impact on their business, is something that Indian SMEs conduct extremely diligently, and something that in my view sets them apart a little bit for some of the other SMEs that we see in Asia Pacific Japan.
One part of technology, of course, is the use of cloud. And while the large cap companies here in India are talking about cloud, have SMEs and MSMEs really caught on to just how much the cloud is probably going to change the face of their businesses?
I believe that cloud creates a lower level of entry, because you don't have to have the upfront capital expenditure on a software solution. You can expend as you need, and then you can expand as you grow. And for many of the solutions that a company like SAP offers, such as our SuccessFactors human capital management solution, that ability to scale up as your business grows is something that's very important. And particularly in a talent-strapped market where SMEs and indeed most companies are competing for the best talent to help them achieve the right outcome for their businesses.
Let's also talk about government business and how you really work with the government here in India. And would you see yourself partnering with some of these MSMEs or SMEs when it comes to really working with the government in India?
For SAP, public sector is quite an important sector for us, and that's true in every country across Asia Pacific Japan as it is in India. We have been through a series of activities with the government over our history here in the Indian subcontinent, where we have supported the transition and the transformation of many agencies and departments, and particularly the public sector undertakings, the PSUs, as they migrate from manual or custom developed systems into commercial off-the-shelf systems that support them in the execution of their business, from both a transparency and auditability and an efficiency and effectiveness perspective. So we certainly have a large proportion of our customer base in the public sector, and we're very proud of that.
When you're talking about the use of technology and technology, one is of course the use of technology, the other is companies which are innovating as far as technology goes. What are some of the unique technologies or innovations that you've really seen in India so far?
I think that there's a distinct startup community here in India. Certainly something that we're working to incubate and to support the incubation of startups in India. We're certainly seeing that a number of these startups are focused on the consumer area and the engagement of consumers in a digital way, and the creation of unique commerce platforms that support the India economy and the engagement between a company and its consumer in terms of the delivery of goods and services via that platform. I think that's one of the key areas of innovation that we have seen. Also, I think just this general increase in the number of startups and the opportunity that people are taking, because technology is so much more widely available now, and at a lower cost point, to actually take that idea and resonate that idea in a technological format as a potential solution that they can then offer to the market.
I also want to talk about the Internet of Things and what kind of opportunities that you see here in India for SAP.
The Internet of Things, or Industry 4.0, which is a term that's being coined in Germany in particular, the home of SAP, is, I believe, a wonderful opportunity, not just for disruption, but for the more effective delivery of products, goods and services across a variety of different sectors. And this, I think, is where SAP's innovation of SAP HANA, the database for this century, the database that allows for the real-time assimilation and management of information, will be key, because it will allow organizations who spend a lot to actually collect this data in the IoT world to understand and unlock the value of the data that they have collected.
Let's talk about the R&D culture that MSMEs and SMEs have in India. What's your own thought on that? Are you seeing enough R&D, even as we're talking about innovation in this space?
From an R&D perspective, you know, in the SAP world, India is one of the core jurisdictions, geographies for our R&D effort. And I think, you know, India's intellectual capital in IT and the use of IT is known way beyond your borders, as you provide so much skill, expertise and experience to the broader global economy. So I believe that you know, R&D and the understanding of the benefits that investment in R&D brings is something that Indian companies have learned, something that Indian companies do very well, and something that will continue to create a vibrant IT community here in India.
Let's take a quick break. On the other side, two bright sparks that we're featuring today, Grofers as well as Cranberry Foods. To stay tuned. Welcome back. You're with us here on Leaders of Tomorrow. On Bright Sparks tonight, we're featuring two companies that are standouts in their space. Now, even the giants in the online retail industry are facing the heat of competition, yet some companies like Grofers have emerged as front runners in the space. What is making them tick and what are customers really clicking on? Purita Verma takes a look.
Grofers, a brand that entered the industry in 2014, is already making waves in the online grocery space. Started by two civil engineers from IIT, Saurabh Kumar and Albinder Dhinsa, Grofers over the last 2 years has seen a tremendous growth trajectory. Considering the general business climate wherein a lot of giants and your rivals are shutting down the online grocery business, what is your incentive of staying in this field and that too keeping this as your core business?
Online grocery business, right? I mean, the opportunity space is huge. Anyone who is going to be focused on this and is trying to solve the problems that exist in this market, right? The problems on the supply side of it. If you are going to be attacking those problems, and it is going to take time. With like limited number of players, we also have that much more bandwidth to actually go and attack the problems that exist.
So you have built a very successful national brand in Grofers. What were your challenges as an entrepreneur, right from the stage wherein you conceived the idea to here now when Grofers is one of the largest players in the online grocery business?
Basically, for us, the biggest challenge was convincing the merchants, the offline merchants to come online and start selling online. Another challenge that we faced was basically hiring delivery boys in masses, right? So hiring them, convincing them to come to our platform, start working with us was another challenge.
Well, you registered a very steep rise in a very short span of time. And when you scale up your operations at such a fast pace, there's a scope for failures if your operations are not integrated very well into the system. So how did you tackle this particular challenge in your business?
As a young company, we are always trying too many things. Some of them go right, some of them go wrong. We look at each of the things that we do, we look at them as small projects. Some of them work, some don't. We continue experimenting, but at the same time, you will go wrong.
Well, considering what has been happening in the online grocery ecosystem, it seems like it's only the players with the deeper pockets who have a long way to go. Would you agree to this?
So for us, it's important that whatever we want to do, we try it out first in a smaller scale. We do run smaller experiments, and once we know that, okay, this is something that's going to work, we spend heavily on those. So I don't think deeper pockets is going to win this. The company that's going to win it is the one who fixes the problems and the inefficiencies that exist in the market.
So you registered a very quick growth in the initial journey of Grofers, and then there came a phase wherein you started consolidating your operations and you moved out of few cities. Now, keeping the investment climate and the online grocery business climate in mind, what is a way forward for Grofers?
I mean, right now we are going through a phase where the city that we are in, I mean, we are consolidating in those cities, making sure that we win these cities, right? So, I mean, there are different phases. I mean, it's never that, okay, we'll only consolidate. I mean, unless you have a big enough market, you are not going to consolidate, right? Right now, we are in the phase where we are worrying about the market that we are in, consolidating in those markets, but eventually you will expand as well, right?
Grofers partners with local merchants such as chemists, bakeries, grocery shops, organic food retailers, and laundry services to help them deliver their goods at the required destination. With low margins per transaction and a highly competitive market, Grofers has managed to carve a niche for itself. So how easy or difficult it was for you to convince the investors to invest in your venture and raise the initial round of funding for Grofers?
So when we started, we were actually looking to build a B2B business which was revenue generating, and we were actually able to cover our expenses, so we never went and looked for funding. We got approached by Sequoia Capital. They asked us, if we wanted to raise capital, and we were like, sure, that would make our lives a lot more easier.
So Grofers has registered a pretty steep rise and has become a national brand in a very short span of time. What kind of business strategies did you use to take Grofers to such heights?
I think two biggest factors for us was we really started paying attention very early on to the customer experience that was happening on the platform, right? And we were still sort of very, very focused around making sure that it's a great customer experience. The other was our focus more on the technology and the product side of things. We were always very particular that we wanted our product to be the best out in the market and sort of not be just, putting out an average product and expecting the customer to attach to it.
In order to sustain yourself in the online grocery business and beat the competition, you generally tend to give a lot of discounts, and that definitely burns a lot of cash. So how are you sustaining yourself in such a money-guzzling business?
Last year, the market was such, there was a lot of competition, there were a lot of companies that were trying to get into this segment, and this was being built up. So you saw a lot of prevalence of discounts, and we participated in that. However, since November, we have pretty much moved away from it. There are a number of reasons. I think we've hit enough scale that we no longer need to do it, and all the offers and everything that we run on the platform now are actually coming from either retailers or they're coming from the brands themselves. However, we are investing in technology, we are investing in supply chain, and these are bets that we hope 6 to 8 months down the line will actually give us better margins, give us better profitability.
From an employee strength of 180 people last year, the company has grown to a whopping 2,000 people currently. With an aim to make people's shopping experience from local merchants easy and pleasant, their steady growth rate clearly boasts of a massive scale for any company to achieve in such a short span of time.
Fast food is no longer restricted to only those in a hurry, but has now entered the kitchens of many. And following the footsteps of the Western world, Indians seem to be choosing burgers over rotis for some quick bites. In less than a year, Cranberry Foods has launched more than a dozen products in the Indian market. Polami Mukhopadhyay takes a look at this company for us.
They are puffy, look shimmery gold, and is an answer to every man's hunger. They are the buns. One company that manufactures premium quality burger buns in the Indian market to cater to various institutes and individuals is Cranberry Foods. Started in the year 2015, Cranberry Foods has provided a portfolio of over 15 categories of bread to its consumers. Their breads are not only sold through the retailing outlets in Mumbai, but also in collaboration with institutes like Jumbo King, PVR Cinemas, Ola Chef, Yellow Banana Foods, amongst many. How did you conceive the idea for Cranberry Foods? Why did you name it Cranberry?
After doing my post-graduation in hospitality from Switzerland and my job stint with Ritz-Carlton in Portugal and Doha, I always wanted to do something in food. So we tried different various business models in food industry and zeroed down on manufacturing in foods. And the name Cranberry came into picture because I love the fruit cranberry, and I believe one should do what they love.
What kind of market research is needed for bakery products, considering that we live in a country of diversity?
You're absolutely right. We are a very diverse country. So there are different research needed for an urban and rural market. Tapping, understanding their needs is very important of both these segments. One also needs to constantly, take feedback from their external and internal customers. Wherein I mean by internal customers is our business associates, vendors, existing employees, and in terms of external customers, our clients obviously give us a feedback from time to time basis. So we revolve and change our product specification as per their needs.
Healthy food do not get a thumbs up when it comes to the taste factor.
How do you keep a balance in your product?
You are absolutely right on this part. Right now, the market is more inclined towards tasty product rather than healthy. However, what we have some clients on board who are very conscious, and they have a perfect balance of taste as well as health. So what we do is we customize the product as per their needs with the help of industry experts, our in-house production team, as well as consultants. Apart from that, we also use refined oil in comparison of palm oil, which a lot of bakery people use in the industry. Also, the kind of raw materials that we use in our products are manufactured by some of the foreign MNC companies.
How do you strategize the pricing for your product, keeping in mind that MNCs are also tapping into the same competitive market?
Pricing is a factor of health, taste and hygiene. That's what I believe, especially in our business. So what we do is, since we are especially in a premium segment, pricing is not an as challenging factor for us. So we have customers who are more product sensitive rather than price sensitive. So it becomes relatively easier to deal with them.
You have about 15 products in your portfolio. How do you manage the distribution front?
Absolutely. What we have two set of clients on board. One is the institutional clients. What we do is through third-party logistics, we directly deliver to the institutions. And second set of clients are our retail clients, whom we distribute via distributors. We have 21 distributors network across Bombay and Navi Mumbai, through whom we cater to our retail clients.
Cranberry Foods produces a large range of products like burger buns, pizza base, sweet buns, garlic breads, brownies and white breads. Within a short span of time, Cranberry Foods has found its way into Mumbai's most number of kitchens. Keeping transparency and integrity embedded in its foundation, Cranberry Foods has been successful in churning out over 20,000 burger buns daily.
The vision is to be into top 10 of this bakery industry in 5 years' time. And the immediate expansion plan is 2017, where we are going to shift to a premises which is 10 times bigger than this, and which can give an output 10 times bigger than what we are currently manufacturing. On the higher side, 36 months from now, we would be into Delhi operations also.
With flavor in their flour and determination in their minds, Cranberry Foods promises to deliver quality in every bite. Serving delicious food to its consumers, Cranberry Foods is said to be one of the chalk horses of the food manufacturing industry in India.
With that, it's a wrap on this edition of Leaders of Tomorrow. Do remember that you can always reach us on email using leadersoftomorrow@timesgroup.com. You can reach us on social media using the hashtag LOT, or you can always call us on the number which is flashing below on your screen. Thanks for watching.